guys, welcome to Encouraging the Misfit. So if you're in ministry of any kind, something that you've probably had to deal with is struggle in ministry, whatever that looks like. Today, I want to specifically talk about it in youth ministry, just because I've had a lot of friends who have had youth ministry positions, a lot of people in youth ministry now, and I've just had conversations with them about kind of the struggle of youth ministry. It's a broad term, so it looks different for each person, but just to give you a little insight on what I've done youth ministry wise. I did an internship about 2 years ago at my home church in Canada, and it was, for me, kind of a disappointment. I, for the whole time, was ready to go in. I was like, I already know these people. I've known them since I was like 2 years old. I'm gonna come up with all this stuff. And pretty much just every single week I got some kind of bad news. Like either we don't have a budget, we can't do this, we can't do this with regulations, or yeah, this just isn't gonna work, we don't have enough volunteers. And so every single week there was some kind of bad news or something going on. And I just remember feeling really defeated after I was done that internship. And it was only until a couple months later did I start actually realizing kind of the benefit of what was going on. And so I want to talk about it just because a lot of people get really defeated, right? If they've been in youth ministry for a year and they don't see their numbers going up in kids attending, right? If events don't go well, or if they hear somebody saying, hey, you know, I'm not a big fan of our youth leader right now, that is really demeaning. It like really hurts because you're like, man, I thought that the Lord was putting me in this position and maybe he's not. But we actually go on this other side of it, and we actually start looking at the consequences of what happens when we get into this mindset of, oh, this isn't working, we're failing at our job, so the Lord obviously didn't put me here, this isn't where he wants me, kind of thing. And there's so much benefit that comes with struggling in youth ministry that I don't think we pay attention to. First of all, obviously the Bible talks a lot about endurance and perseverance and what that looks like, but a lot of people know the verse in Romans where it talks about push through because endurance creates character and character creates hope. And it just goes on and on about why it is so good, why struggle is so beneficial. And so first of all, I just want to encourage you because in my own experience of my internship, something that the Lord was teaching me was how to fail well, I guess. We all fail. It's something that we all have to go through, but we don't react well to it. When we fail, we either think, man, the Lord didn't call me here, or this isn't where I'm supposed to be. But when we fail, we actually have to depend on Jesus. We have to depend on him for what we can't do, right? Because when he puts us in a spot, he's going to be the one to give us the ability and the skills that we need, right? And when it doesn't go the way that we thought or we planned, the Lord has such a bigger picture that he wants to kind of he wants to start to begin, right? And so like for me, I was like, man, all the plans I'd spent a month kind of working on all this stuff and plans to do, and all of it got completely scratched. And so a whole month's work just out the window, and we didn't get to do any of it. And I was like, what was the point of that? But Jesus was teaching me how to fail well. He was teaching me how to respond to failure, right? To me, that was a huge failed summer. I was like, what was the point of any of that? And yet the Lord was teaching me how to be I guess still humble in that, right? I had done all that work and I felt like, man, what was the point of me even being there, kind of thing, if none of my work was going to be recognized. But it really wasn't about me at all, and Jesus was really just working on my character, right? When I fail, do I still persevere towards the goal that the Lord has called us to? And so I just want to encourage you, like, you might be in youth ministry now, you might be going into a youth ministry opportunity, and right, there's gonna be times when you are so defeated, and I just want you to look at those times. Either the Lord is looking and working on your character, or he's wanting you to persevere, because especially with youth ministry, it takes time. Trust is not built in a short time, and when people get defeated after a year and they say, hey, this isn't where the Lord wants me to, I'm leaving because it just didn't go the way I planned, all those kids that you were now working with now have a trust issue because the one person that came in left after a year, and then the next person came in and it wasn't working well for them either, so they left, right? And now this whole trust that these kids are trying to build with leaders, it just completely gets crushed, right? Because the person leaves, it wasn't the way they expected it. But just pay attention to where the Lord has you, right? If the Lord has told you to go somewhere, he's told you to go there, whether it's successful in your eyes or if it's not. So just always look for that spot where even in your failure, the Lord is trying to teach you something through it. So just don't get discouraged about stuff like that. For me, I got so discouraged, and yet the Lord was just trying to work on my character. He was trying to work on so much things in my own heart. And so now when I fail at other things, or what I consider a failure, I always point it back to God and say, okay, what was the point of that? Right? I don't do anything in my own skill ability. If I do it in yours, then there's always a purpose for it, a beneficial reason of why you put me through that. So just never get discouraged about failing or struggling in youth ministry. It's always for a purpose.